our next speaker for today is Dr. Payal Agarwal. She's a periodontist, implantologist, and a pediatric dentist. She's the co-founder of Healthspace Clinic in South Mumbai. She has graduated from the prestigious Nair Hospital in Mumbai and has done a double masters from UK and Singapore while being a resident in Singapore for 3 years. And her expertise in international oral hygiene care has helped her all the way here, helping our patients here with her Healthspace Clinic. Welcome on board, Dr. Payal. Thank you so much for taking time out today to join us in this conversation.
Thank you, Dr. Janvi. I'm really excited to be speaking to you. I think your idea of starting House of Cure is absolutely fabulous. It's the need of the hour because real estate costs are going through the roof. And, you know, as a doctor, you don't want to be, you're not trained to be, and you generally dislike administrative work and billing and things. So it's great if someone can take that pressure off you, which is what I think your venture does for us. So I'm really excited that it's also thought about by our fellow dentist and orthodontist. And I'm really happy to be speaking to you here today.
Yes, the idea behind the venture was that hopefully a lot of doctors do get to benefit from the same. So coming back to our topic, discussing a lot of distressed mothers facing a lot of issues during this lockdown regarding their children's oral hygiene. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, so I think difficult times, definitely not recommended to enter the dental clinic unless absolutely necessary. But there are a lot of things that you can do at home to make sure that your child's teeth don't get worse over these trying times. For the children, as soon as the teeth start erupting in the mouth, you need to start brushing them, right? So when the first tooth erupts, you can either even take a muslin cloth and wet it and clean the tooth, or you can actually then move on to your finger brush, the one that you can slip on. The mother can slip onto her finger and then brush all the teeth. At this point, I'd like to share a short presentation which will make it very easy for mothers to understand how to brush their children's teeth and how to inculcate a great habit of toothbrushing. So I basically work at Healthspace Dentistry in Opera House, South Bombay. And we have a lot of pediatric camps when times were good. But of course, so moving to the question at hand, the most important thing that you need to remember is you need to brush twice daily. All children and all adults need to brush twice daily. It is extremely difficult to get kids to brush in the night before sleeping. They're extremely fussy, but if you keep at it and you keep reinforcing it to your child, eventually they will learn to brush twice a day. So the position of the parent, all toothbrushing needs to be supervised until they're about 6 or 7 years of age, and you need to stand behind the child. And this is basically how they're supposed to position yourself. Everybody asks me which toothpaste is the best, which toothbrush is the best. So to answer that, the brand doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which brand you're going for, but what you need to understand is the concept of fluoride. Fluoride is something which protects young teeth and adult teeth and makes it strong and prevents cavities. However, you cannot ingest it. The child cannot swallow it. So as long as the child cannot spit, you have to use a no fluoride toothpaste. I think Pigeon, Chico have no fluoride toothpaste. The minute the child starts spitting at about 4 years, there are a lot of things in the market saying low fluoride toothpaste like Disney and Chota Beam. But unfortunately, there's not too much evidence for that. I would try to make the child go as soon as possible to an adult toothpaste. And then the problem is they'll be like, bahut tikha hai, and they don't like the taste of the toothpaste, and they'll constantly be arguing with the mother. So I do different things. I get them to use the one they like for a day, then the one they don't like for a day, until they eventually move on to the adult toothpaste. How much toothpaste? So I think this slide is self-explanatory, but a grain size for under 3 and a pea size for 3 to 6 years. Yeah, not more than that. It foams too much and they're not going to brush them. Toothbrush. So My famous saying is whatever works, right? You want them in there for at least 2 minutes, and that is hard enough. And no hard toothbrushes. Besides that, in terms of soft and medium, or even battery operated toothbrushes, anything is all right as long as they're in there for 2 minutes twice a day brushing their teeth. What you could do to motivate them is make a chart and then give them stars for morning and evening. That works wonderfully on most kids after 4 years of age because they want all the stars on that month, and that's when they start brushing twice a day. So that's pretty much what I need to say in terms of toothbrushing, but I will like to talk about one product is going to be GC Toothmousse. The reason being that you're not able to come into the dental clinic. This is basically a milk protein and it'll help prevent cavities. So that's all for in terms of what to use and what not to use for your child's dental care.
Right. So thank you, Dr. Payal, for summing it all up. So basically, your child's healthcare is completely in your hand. So the oral hygiene will then dictate the entire overall health of the child, and the habits that they make now are always long lasting. So I think then we come on to the next question, which is can you demonstrate to them how to brush their teeth? So there are many techniques and everybody's confused about whether to do horizontal or whether to do round, or is it case dependent, like depends on people. But if you can give us a generic idea on how to do it.
That would be great. I would love to demonstrate it for the kids. There are basically about 3 rules that I ask all my children to follow once they start brushing their teeth themselves. So I'm going to do the demonstration of how to brush your teeth. We have a model here. The first thing I'm going to tell my kids is don't just scrub and run out. First of all, no scrubbing. Second of all, no running out once this is done. Right? So the correct way to do it is up and down and all around, right? So they need to get this up and down in sort of circular motion. That is the first thing they need to remember. Second, you cannot forget any of your teeth. You need to remember to go all the way to the last tooth, right? Most kids only brush their front teeth and miss out on their back teeth, as well as adults actually.
Right.
The third thing you need to remember is there are 3 surfaces to your tooth: the outside surface, the top surface, and the inside surface. So we need to clean all 3 surfaces. You can't do it just this. So it's this and the top part, which is basically here, and then pushing your tongue away and cleaning the inside on the top and the bottom. So that is how I expect all my kids to brush. Take 2 minutes, take your time. So a good way to get them to brush for 2 minutes is sometimes I use the timers of their board games like Monopoly and things. And when it runs out, it's roughly about 2 minutes. Or you can set a timer. They have musical toothbrushes as well. And of course, these are the 3 things. Do not scrub this way. You need to go in a vertical motion. You need to brush all the way to your last tooth and brush all the surfaces.
Right. That's extremely informative. Thank you, Dr. Payal, for the same. And like you said, that's a good tip to keep a timer. Of course, that will make it a game out of it. So it'll be interesting for them to do it also. This is all about, so this is just about maintaining oral hygiene. Now, what about when they're eating a lot of sugars, the parents start getting scared that they'll get more cavities, and then they'll have to rush to a dentist to treat the cavities. But how can they avoid cavities? Like what food can they eat? What food can they not eat? Or what to brush after, what to brush before? Do you have any tips on what they can eat and not?
Of course, diet plays an extremely important part in terms of dental health because the number 1 reason for cavity formation is sugar, right? And all the rules of healthy eating actually apply to your teeth as well. So the biggest problem we used to have before, of course, the pandemic and the lockdown was birthday parties, right? You have a birthday party every week, you're eating wafers and you're eating cake, the 2 things which are a big no-no for your teeth. Anything that is sticky and sweet is absolutely horrid for your teeth. So I would say avoid it as much as you can and try to always move them, of course, to the healthy alternatives of food. That's vegetables and fruits. The other thing that I wanted to say is a lot of kids, it's not possible to keep them away from chocolates, right? But the way to kind of get them to reduce it is not to punish them. A lot of parents I see is into punishing and setting these extremely strict rules, which actually shuts down the mode of communication between the parent and the child. You know, in an Indian society, you have school, I mean, you have friends, you have dadi, you have dada, you have aunties, you have neighbors. Everyone is offering a child a chocolate, right? And there's no way that you're going to be able to avoid that. So what you want is for your child to come and tell you that this is what has been given to me and this is what I've eaten at so and so's place. So if you're extremely strict about it, you're going to shut this communication down, and then you're not going to know what is happening otherwise, because it's important for you to know what is happening to be able to regulate your child's diet. Then the other way that I get kids to actually come down to my once a week chocolate rule is that they are terrified that someone's going to take away the chocolate that was given to them. So I tell them, it's yours. Nobody's going to take it, not even your mother, not even your father. You need to make a chocolate box and keep it in your cupboard. You collect all the chocolates, keep it there. You can only eat it on a Saturday or Sunday. So that actually helps them, gets them excited to make their box and then look forward to the weekend to actually eat all their chocolates. Another thing to note here, you have small chocolates 10 times a day. It's far, far worse than sitting with a big bar once a day. So all the chocolate needs to go in at one time. All the sugar needs to go in at one time. And the last meal of the day cannot be sugar, right? So that's basically the rules for healthy eating for your teeth for kids.
Right. Okay. So also, do you suggest them to brush once they have eaten their chocolates? And also, can we discuss what they, you know, like we know, generally, like I would know that cheese or a lot of sticky things, a lot of, you know, nowadays these chocolates have a lot of caramel. Should they completely avoid it, or is it okay to have it? Or are there any remedies to do after they eaten any caramel chocolates or cakes? You know, nowadays there's a lot of baking happening at home. Everyone's making their dalgona coffees and I don't know what not. But children are excited about that too, and they want to taste everything too. So is there anything that they can avoid while doing that, or do something post eating that?
That's an interesting question, actually, because you know, every time you have consumed the sugar, it's the pH in your mouth that is changing. It is becoming acidic, and you kind of want to neutralize it or bring it back to normal, or even make it basic as possible. So while you're baking your cookies, it's difficult. They have to taste it post. Ideally, if you can brush post immediately after, it's the best thing ever. But it is difficult for children to kind of brush more than twice a day. So if you can get them to, then great. If you can't, then I would expect them to at least rinse. Some doctors even recommend eating salty straight after sugar to kind of balance out. But I'm not very in favor of that.
Okay. Okay. So, you know, so now we've discussed cavities, we've discussed what to eat, we've discussed how to brush, we've discussed what mothers can do or parents can do to take care of their children's health, brushing twice, etc. Now, can we get to the topic where, you know, parents are even, you know, doctors for that matter, or even any parent for that matter, is not that aware about when the children's teeth are going to fall, when their children's teeth are going to come, which are the permanent, which are the primary, which are the ones that they need to be more careful about. Can you throw some light on that?
It's a very interesting question, because you have a lot of alarmed mothers calling saying that, you know, this is hurting, this is shaking, is this normal? So it's good to know what to expect. The first milk teeth, the baby teeth, come out, it starts at about 7 months of age, and then it erupts to up to 24 months. All the teeth, you have about 20 baby teeth in the mouth. And unfortunately, there's not much you can do with teething to relieve it. But of course, biting on those teethers and things do help. You can even sometimes give a mild paracetamol to help them. Some over-the-counters and numbing gels are there, but they may or may not help. Moving on to your permanent dentition. The first permanent molar comes at about 5.5 or 6, which is when typically your child will complain that something's hurting back here. And that is because it comes behind all the existing teeth. So that's when they start feeling the pain. and that's when your first permanent molar will come. Then thereafter, your front teeth will start falling off and the new permanent front teeth will start coming. This process actually continues up to 13 years of age, when is your last tooth, the canine, that will come out. So that's a lot of years where you have to maintain your baby teeth and look after them, because you don't want them to fall too early. Now, typically, a lot of mothers get very alarmed when the rest of the children in the school have had got the tooth erupted in the mouth, while their child hasn't, which is common. It's a common fear, but there's nothing to worry about, because the normal age of eruption can be up to 1 or 2 years beyond the age that everybody else is getting it. So yes, it is good to go to a dentist and get it checked out and get x-rays done to make sure everything's normal. But it's absolutely normal to be delayed in to have a delayed eruption beyond 1 year.
Right.
Then the other question that they ask me is, the front tooth is still there and there's another back tooth coming, right? And is this normal? Yes, it is perfectly normal. The permanent tooth does come out from behind, and then it sort of comes into place as your jaws expand. When you need to be alarmed, number one, the tooth is very loose. It is causing a lot of discomfort to the child, then you can choose to extract it. Number two, when you have two teeth like that, there's going to be a lot of food getting stuck at some point of time, and then you might want to intervene to make brushing easier. What you need to remember is that the teeth are adult size and the child has a jaw which is still growing. So the teeth do come out in all kinds of different positions, but by the time they're 12 or 13, they will get into their normal positions, unless, of course, there is some habits or something that's preventing it from happening.
Right. I think that's completely everything, I think, under the umbrella has been covered regarding children's health, children's oral hygiene for that matter. And I would like to thank you, Dr. Payal, for throwing light on each and every concerned topic that parents must be facing during this time, especially because they are really scared to go to a dentist per se. And also they do want to participate in their children's healthcare by themselves. So can you sum up the entire conversation into something like a take-home message for them?
Yes, so I want all mothers to remember from my conversation with you, the first rule is to brush twice daily. You cannot forget that rule. The second take-home message is how to brush. Basically, all your surfaces up to the last tooth, and no scrubbing. And my third and last thing that I want them to remember is chocolates are only once a week.
Okay, I think that sums up everything very nicely. Thank you so much, Dr. Payal. And thank you for taking time out to educate all the parents out there regarding their children's oral health hygiene. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Janvi. It was great speaking to you.
Same here.